Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Morning Invest. It is St. Patrick's Day, so top of the morning to you. Welcome to Morning Invest, the only morning news show that's outside of the matrix. We've unplugged from the mainstream media. So if you want to support independent journalism and support our show, you can do so for free, totally for free, by subscribing to our daily morning newsletter. I hope it brings you a lot of value. All you need to do is go to morninginvest.com, morninginvest.com, put in your email address, and you will receive a welcome email from me. Hit me back. Let me know that you got it. Just say, hey, Clayton, I got it. And you will get an awesome newsletter first thing in the morning. All right, we've got a jam-packed show for you today because on today's show, creditors are coming for your stimulus check. And it might be too late to stop it. Thanks, Congress, being asleep at the wheel on that one. Plus, Mitch McConnell, the former Senate Majority Leader, Turtle Boy, now Senate Minority Leader, makes a ridiculous defense of the filibuster. And Twitter explodes. Will President Biden move to end the filibuster? It could be one of the biggest landmark decisions by an administration in years. We're going to tell you the explosive comments that President Biden made last night, on top of the explosive comments that Mitch McConnell made last night. And earmarks are coming back to Washington as your hypocritical Congress gets ready to spend like it's going out of style. All of that and more on the show today. Welcome in. Get your Super Chat questions in on today's show. We're going to dive into all of that and more a little bit later in the show. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at HelloFresh. Do you guys want 12 free meals delivered right to your front door? I know I do. Well, HelloFresh is sponsoring today's show, and guess what? You get HelloFresh. They help you cut out the stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking, get dinner on the table in about 30 minutes or less. They offer fresh, delicious food that take about 10 to 20 minutes to make. Low prep recipes, quick breakfast, lunches, perfect for your busy schedule. Great for families that, you've got a vegetarian in your family. Great. They've got vegetarian options. You have a large family. Great. They have different sizes you can pick from. Fantastic. They are America's most popular meal kit. And what I love about it is, the fact that you can get the kids and family together and make these delicious recipes like those carnitas, those tacos. David, you ordered some HelloFresh like last week or 2 weeks ago, right?
I did.
What did you get? What was your favorite meal?
The street tacos. And
delicious.
What was cool I didn't realize is it comes with all these individual packets of sauces and stuff that you get, and I didn't use all of it for one thing, and then I had the sauce to use for another meal that I made that wasn't HelloFresh. So it's like I kind of and some of the other ingredients I used for other meals. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. So check them out, and you're going to get 12 free meals and free shipping. So go to HelloFresh.com/invest12. You have to use that URL that's on your screen. HelloFresh.com/invest12. You'll get 12 free meals and free shipping just for signing up. Okay? Just for signing up. America's #1 meal kit. Check them out. A huge fan. I also love the fact that they save you like 40% over grocery store prices. So when you find out it can be delivered to your door, you can avoid the grocery store. You save 40% on the amount you'd spend at the grocery store. And it has great recipes in there that can make in like 10 to 20 minutes. No brainer. Plus you get free shipping and 12 free meals. Awesome stuff. So our thanks to HelloFresh.
So I want to address...
All right, let's get to the news.
I want to address something really quick. A lot of people saying, Clayton, you're not wearing green. So you guys don't have the privilege I have of seeing Clayton walk around the studio before the show. He is indeed wearing a green Speedo with matching aqua socks. So just rest assured I've got a Borat green Speedo on today. You can't see it. Matching aqua socks too. That's important.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I get it. It is St. Patrick's Day. Should I be wearing that? I don't know. The thing is, if anything, I've got Scottish heritage, so I don't know. Am I allowed to get away with wearing I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. We'll let it slide.
Are you wearing green, by the way?
Me?
Let's take a shot of you.
I don't know. I don't know that Star Wars. I think there's no green. I've got
a little green in here.
Yeah, no. You got the logo. That's got some green, right?
My Morning Invest logo. Just white, yellow,
and
black.
Well, we tried.
Well, I'm sorry. We tried.
You could have turned your lights green in the background.
Oh, should I do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
How about I do that? Okay, I'll do that for that'll make us all happy, okay? I'm going to turn some of our lights green in the background. How about that? Okay. There we go. Is that better? Let me do the other ones too. How about that? So this is very important stuff.
You saw it here first, everybody.
All right.
I need to help you,
I don't know
dude.
how to switch this one?
I need to help you because watch this.
Switch this one.
Alexa, turn the studio lights green. There, see? Now I'm green. That easy.
Yeah. Hey Siri, turn my studio lights green. Let's see if that. Take that.
Nice.
All right. Green. Okay? Are you guys all happy? All right. St. Patrick's Day around here. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We got it. All right, let's do your stimulus update now. If I can. That's funny. I didn't realize I could just switch the colors like that. I mean, I knew that I could. I didn't have to. I thought I had to pre-program it. Okay. All right. It's stimulus update time. And let me tell you, let me start off today by telling you a little story of a single mom who's been suffering really bad during this pandemic to the point where she's lost her job at a hotel. Because guess what? No one's going to hotels. So now she can't pay her rent. She's fallen behind on her credit cards. Her daughter is home because of COVID. So she's trying to make sure that her daughter fall behind. She's watched our show. She's heard all of the stories about virtual schooling and how it can set kids back many, many months, half semesters, even years. Because in-person schooling is closed through no fault of their own. She hears about, hey, there's a new stimulus that Congress is working on that would send her $1,400. You know, it's not a lot, but it is a little way to get caught up on rent, maybe pay some back utility bills, help put some food on the table. And then Congress comes along and passes this stimulus bill. And she hears, checks are starting to go out. She hears it's going to hit her bank account in 2 days. She wakes up early on that day. She keeps checking her checking account. She goes online. She keeps hoping. Then, guess what? Finally, it hits her account. She sees it. The $1,400 is there. Phew, she'll be able to make some payments, put some food on the table. Then she hears stories about how many people's stimulus checks are disappearing from their account. So then she goes and looks to see her account a few minutes later, and she learns that that money is also gone from her account. Taken by a creditor that had its grubby little paws in her account. Gone, just like that. Well, then Congress suddenly learns that this is happening to people all over America. Shocking. And now they're trying to stop it, but it might just be too darn late. And that's the situation we're in this morning. As Congress is deciding, how do we go after these debt collectors that are now seizing people's stimulus checks? Here's the headline. Lawmakers are trying to fix that. This is happening, folks. People are waking up this morning and finding that creditors, third-party creditors, got their hands on their stimulus checks. Recipients with unpaid credit card or medical bills. Just think about that for a second. People that put rent on their credit card because the government didn't help them. People who paid medical bills during a pandemic because the government didn't help them.
Is that
so recipients with...
I just want to know is that what is people are seeing when they go to the site and it says unavailable? Is that potentially what that means?
I don't know that that's what that means. Because it literally is hitting people's bank accounts. So unavailable, just either they don't qualify or there's some sort of glitch in the system where it's showing that they don't have the information because their tax return hasn't been accepted yet or they don't have information about it.
And this is happening with no court order or anything? Oh,
in some cases it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez.
With a with a deficiency judgment or otherwise, not even a deficiency judgment. So recipients with unpaid credit card and medical bills for which a company has obtained a judgment against the debtor can take this fresh infusion of cash right out of their bank accounts, potentially preventing those in need from getting this emergency money right now. Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon is stepping up on this, trying to pass an amendment to this bill this week in order to stop this. But why is this happening, folks? Why is this happening now? We knew this would happen. Why? Because it happened before, during the last stimulus. And then they had to pass an amendment. You remember that? Congress had to step in and pass an amendment. Republicans and Democrats were outraged about this. Well, this time, Republicans don't care because they didn't vote for it at all. Zero, they don't care. They're like, hey, you guys deal with this. This is your mess. So now Democrats are like suddenly surprised that debtors, predators, predatory lenders are suddenly seeking this money. And meanwhile, those same creditors, those same medical companies, those same credit card companies have received billions of dollars from the federal government. And they're trying to take your $1,400 stimulus. These members of Congress have had their heads up their you-know-whats. This has been happening now this happened twice before. Why is this surprising? It was like a shock. And again, don't you learn from history? I just don't understand. I cannot wrap my head around how this omission is in there. How did you just manage to not include this in your bill? Now you have to pass an amendment. And the problem with passing an amendment is that time has elapsed. And for those people who got direct deposits, they went through the process to make sure for a direct deposit. This money has hit their account already because guess what? People with direct deposits, you get paid first. So you get paid first with this direct deposit. And guess what? That money is gone. Now the Senate will try to step in and they're going to try to put in an amendment in this and pass it. But there's like a week or two gap between that happens, right? So that's plenty of time for this money to hit people's accounts and for these creditors to get that money. With no recourse. You have no recourse. And frankly, there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing that might happen is that you might be able to file on your taxes next year a rebate because you were owed this stimulus but never received it. And if they pass this amendment, that might allow you to then to file an amendment later on to get this money eventually, but not right now when you need it. Like the woman who wrote me and told me that story. Was a single mom who worked at the hotel, who lost her job, only to find out that the stimulus money was removed from her account. And I get emails like that all day long. Has this happened to any of you? Share your story in the comments below. It's just awful. Awful stuff. While we're on this subject, keeping them honest, let's keep them honest this morning. Because the next tranche of stimulus is on its way. How will we pass any kind of massive package that will actually help this country? Well, let me tell you what's standing in the way. This is a story about a giant baby. A giant baby who cried about not getting his way. He whined and whined and whined. And when he didn't have his way, he threw a giant temper tantrum. And he threatened to hurt everyone unless he got his way. And yesterday, that giant baby put on his best diaper, grabbed a microphone, and threatened to nuke the entire Senate if Democrats try to reform the filibuster. Here is that giant baby.
The Senate 60-vote threshold backstops all of it. It's not just about controversial items. It's about everything we do. The Senate Democrats who are pressuring our colleagues from Arizona and West Virginia to reverse themselves are not just arguing for some procedural tweak, not a procedural tweak. They're arguing for a radically less stable and less consensus-driven system of government.
Wow.
Forget about enduring laws with broad support. Nothing in federal law would ever be settled. Does anyone really believe the American people were voting for an entirely new system of government by electing Joe Biden to the White House? and a 50-50 Senate? This is a 50-50 Senate. There was no mandate to completely transform America by the American people on November 3rd. That may be what a few liberal activists want, but does anyone believe that millions of Americans thought that's what they were electing?
Does he think you're dumb? For millions of Americans, when they voted, did they think that their vote would count? Did they think when they cast their vote that it would actually mean something? Of course not. I'm Mitch McConnell. When you vote, that shouldn't change government. You shouldn't get anything passed. Bah, bah.
Of course not.
Of course not. I know when I vote, I think I'm throwing it away. If I'm voting for another party instead of the party that's currently running the show, I'm just doing it for fun, not because I want change in my country. Americans are too stupid to know what they're doing. That's why I'm here, to protect you from yourselves.
There's an ironic element to this whole conversation. Some Democratic senators seem to imagine this would be a tidy trade-off. If they could just break the rules on a razor-thin majority, sure, it might damage the institution, but then nothing would stand between them and their entire agenda, a new era of fast-track policymaking.
Gonna break the entire system.
But, Mr. President, anyone who really knows the Senate knows that's not what would happen. So let me say this very clearly for all 99 of my colleagues. Nobody serving in this can even begin to imagine what a completely scorched earth Senate would look like. None of us have served 1 minute in a Senate that was completely drained of comedy and consent.
Scorched Earth Senate. I mean, this sends shockwaves. Like, I know the way that he presents it, you're like, okay, that's not a big deal. If you're like, Washington went crazy last night because of these comments. Twitter exploded. Late night comedians were floored. Jake Sherman over at Punch Bowl tweeted this. McConnell on the floor this AM and talking about the filibuster. Nobody serving this chamber can even begin to imagine what a completely scorched earth Senate would look like. McConnell says if Dems blow up the filibuster, he'll require a quorum for everything. Past actions would seem like child's play. Basically, he's saying he is going to make sure that he burns down the Senate. McConnell says he would enact conservative policies with zero input from Democrats. He lists defunding Planned Parenthood, sanctuary cities, nationwide right to work laws, concealed carry reciprocity in D.C. and 50 states. Basically pushing massive threats. And he said the pendulum is going to swing the other way. Goes back and forth, whoever's in power. But guess what? That's the consequence of elections. Not for some parliamentary trick that was never meant to be by the founding fathers and has held up our country from doing anything in meaningful legislation. And if you take a look at the number of filibusters and the rise of the filibuster threat over the years, look at this. It has held up anything from getting done. Bernie Sanders talked about the Senate being absolutely worthless, where all legislation goes to die. That the only way we can actually get anything meaningful done or accomplished is through reconciliation, through a budget process. So for some context here, the filibuster has long been used by the minority party to quash meaningful reforms, to stop us from getting anything done. You know, a single senator can get up and quash the will of the majority. The filibuster has turned the Senate from an institution in which bills are actually passed when a majority of senators support them to an institution in which bills can only pass, with rare exceptions, with that 60-person vote, that supermajority. And since a 60-vote supermajority are rare, and probably we're likely to never see a supermajority again, I imagine 10 senators, that's how many you'd need to switch. We're at 50-50 Senate right now, with Kamala Harris being the tie-breaking vote, so technically Democrats run the show. Can you imagine 10 of those seats flipping? No. With the amount of money that's spent on gerrymandering, with the amount of money that's spent from corporate donors, those seats are pretty much stable. A few here, a few there. That's it. And that's the consequence of elections. So the result is that the Senate has lost the ability to routinely pass any kind of meaningful legislation or solve any problems and deliver solutions for the Americans that they vote for. So when Mitch McConnell has the gall to stand up there and pretend like you don't know what you're doing when you vote for people. Do you think that millions of Americans actually think their vote counts? That they want a small majority of government to change? It happens in every other country. I mean, David and I have talked about this on the show repeatedly. I mean, parties that come out of nowhere in Germany win elections. Parties that come out of nowhere in Belgium win elections. 40 different parties, 40 different political parties. Yes, when those things happen, change happens in a government, but not in the United States. Nothing happens, and you suffer. So the Senate, as you understand, if we want to have a little historical context here, was never designed to have a supermajority requirement. You know, I'm a student of history, was a history major, and I love, you know, when Mitch McConnell wants to throw around this idea that the founding fathers would be upset that we would get rid of the filibuster, he is lying to you. He is lying to you. When we talk about the founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, all thought that the filibuster was a terrible tactic. And the founders considered such structures, and they rejected them outright. Let me show you this. You know, Alexander Hamilton, of course, is in vogue, of course, because of the Hamilton musical. Brilliant, brilliant man. And in Federalist 22, he wrote this. I'll do my best Alexander Hamilton impression. He said he basically ripped apart this idea that we need 60 votes. He ripped it apart. In Federalist 22, he says, this is one of those refinements which, in practice, has an effect to the reverse of what is expected from it in theory. The necessity of unanimity in public bodies, or of something approaching towards it, has been founded upon a supposition that it would contribute to security. Its real operation is to embarrass the administration, to destroy the energy of government, and to substitute the pleasure, caprice, or artifices of an insignificant, turbulent, or corrupt junta to the regular deliberations and decisions of a respectable majority. Or junta. I love caprice, junta. A lot of words in there. It's a word sandwich from Alexander Hamilton. But basically he's saying that when people like to argue, like Mitch McConnell is doing right now, that this is providing security. This is providing security. We need a nice little security blanket. We really don't want the majority to actually do anything meaningful for us. He's full of crap. Right out of the words of Alexander, right out of the pen of Alexander Hamilton, right in the Federalist 22. Look it up. Look up James Madison's writings in the Federalist Papers. There's this whole BS argument that George Washington wanted to cool down, like this idea of coffee. I don't go into full detail about it. It was idea of like, you know, like when you have a cup of coffee and you have the saucer, like the Senate should be like the saucer. Like just pour out your hot coffee onto the saucer, let it cool down a little bit, you know, just cool it down. Then put it back in the cup and drink it because it'll be cooled down. There's this like Republican meme that they created. There's no evidence he ever said that or supported it. In fact, it was quite the opposite. In order to have two bodies of government to get stuff done, and you do it through a majority. So we didn't even have a filibuster until the mid 1800s. We didn't have a filibuster. It didn't exist. And then not until the early 1900s did we start doing this cloture voting, which basically shuts down any kind of voting, not even with just a talking filibuster, but actually, like, they can't even bring anything to the floor. Done. Filibuster. And look at the rise in these filibusters. Off the charts. Can't get anything done. Here's Senator Dick Durbin after he heard these ominous words from Mitch McConnell yesterday, promising to basically nuke the entire Senate. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois decided to hold his own version of the Senate and painted a history lesson about one of the most famous filibusters in history that was used to keep the Civil Rights Act from passing. Here's Dick Durbin.
It was August of 1957, and a senator took the floor here in this very chamber. He'd had a remarkable record. He'd served as a Democratic senator, as a Dixiecrat senator, and as a Republican senator before he finally retired. And he served many years. In 1957, he was on the floor of the Senate to take his last stand. It was August, and it was a confrontation he had been preparing for a long time. He was a veteran of World War II, one of the few in the chamber at that time rather. And he was clearly a man devoted to his country and had shown real courage in serving as an officer in World War II. But his job on that day was to speak on the floor of the Senate for a long time. He'd been preparing for it. He'd taken daily steam baths trying to dehydrate his body so that he could stand on the Senate floor for a long time, even absorb fluids without needing to take a break to go to the restroom. He arrived for the battle armed with throat lozenges to stave off hoarseness, and he held the floor longer than any single senator ever has, even to this day. 24 hours and 18 minutes. For what principled purpose did this senator take such pains in preparation? For what noble reason did he grind the world's greatest deliberative body to a full-scale halt for more than 24 hours? In order to defend Jim Crow racial discrimination and deny equality to African Americans.
Yeah, that was Strom Thurmond. So much so that they even set up beds. Here's Strom Thurmond. Yeah, this was him right after he gave that now famous filibuster, trying to make sure that African Americans didn't have equal rights in the United States. Look at all them smiling, all those white people. Good job, Strom. That's how we used the filibuster. In the end, it didn't work. They even set up beds so they could hang out on the Senate floor, wait for him to be done. Just got some beds here. Let's go to sleep. Those beds are actually still downstairs inside the Capitol building, in case it happens again. So during a press conference yesterday, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said President Biden didn't want to make any changes to the filibuster. That was yesterday afternoon. But then, like a lightning bolt, yesterday, something earth-shattering happened, which could really upset the big whining baby. President Biden suddenly changed course and let the cat out of the bag during an exclusive interview with ABC News. And boy, did this send shockwaves through Washington right back in the other direction. There was a couple of competing tsunamis yesterday about the filibuster.
You're not likely to get Republican votes for the tax increase. You're not likely to get Republican votes for H.R. 1, expanding voting rights, or the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. So aren't you going to have to choose? I know you've been reluctant to do away with the filibuster. Aren't you going to have to choose between preserving the filibuster and advancing your agenda?
Yes. But here's the choice. I don't think you have to eliminate the filibuster. You have to do it what it used to be when I first got to the Senate and back in the old days when you used to be around there. And that is that a filibuster, you had to stand up and command the floor. And you had to keep talking alone. You couldn't call for, no one could say, quorum call. Once you stopped talking, you lost that, and someone could move in and say, I moved the question of. So you got to work for the filibuster.
So you're for that reform. You're for bringing back the talking filibuster.
I am. That's what it was supposed to be. Look, I think, don't hold me to the numbers, George, but I think between 1960 and 2000, there were like, I'm making this number up, I don't know. There were like, 50 filibusters. And now they're like 200 since then. Since that
Just put a
rule
hold
changed.
on it, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, so.
He's actually right on those numbers. People want to make fun of him for, mental capacity. But I just showed you those numbers, by the way. He's right. 50, see? Skyrocketing over 263 filibusters. So he's right.
The idea, it almost is getting to the point where there's, democracy's having a hard time functioning. And so, look, I'm not saying this is going to be easy, George, but I do believe there's enough Republicans over time who are going to have, look,
They haven't had that epiphany you said you were going to see in the campaign.
No, well, I've only been here 6 weeks, pal. Okay, give me a break. Been here 6 weeks. I think the epiphany is going to come between now and 2022. This is there's 78% of the people say they support this program. 52% of Republicans. Let's assume it's off by 15%. You're going to go home and campaign. Republican voters want that $1,500 because they're in trouble. Republican voters want to be able to choose between being able to go to work and send their kid to a daycare that they can afford. Republican voters want to be able to take care of a child care tax credit. I mean, it's not like every Republican voter is a billionaire. And by the way, and I'm not saying I'll do it again, but I want those Republican voters in suburbia.
Asked to respond to Biden's filibuster reform comments, the big giant baby said, quote, "This pendulum would swing both ways, hard." In fact, he said it like this: "This pendulum would swing both ways, hard. Hard."
This is an institution that requires unanimous consent to turn the lights on before noon.
Yeah, we need unanimous consent. So if Democrats decide, and it is crucial to say that it would be a decision. I mean, it's their choice right now. They could do this. To leave the 60 vote threshold in place, that means their entire agenda and all that's beyond it is dead. All those primary debates that they wasted breath on. How many Democratic primaries did we have? On all those debates, television debates, all of those huge ideas by President Biden, right? His big vision. On his website, go to Biden-Harris and see the vision page. All of those direct mail pieces that went out, all of the speeches, all of it, all will just become promises that they were never actually going to keep. Because if they actually meant it, they would end this filibuster. They have the power to do it. And it's an incentive. I see it as an incentive. If you want to remain in power, right? Then pass meaningful legislation that helps the American people. And guess what? What'll happen when voting happens? Let me ask you in the chat. How many people know what would happen when it's time to vote? That party that screwed me over, or that party that actually passed meaningful health care legislation. Who should I vote for? It's an incentive. It's an incentive to do well by you, by eliminating the filibuster. But see, the reason the filibusters remained through both parties is because it's an excuse. It's an excuse to pay lip service to doing well by you and then not doing it because we didn't have a supermajority. We couldn't get the other party's votes.
Well, and the thing is, even if they remove
this eliminates that excuse.
Even if they eliminate the quote unquote filibuster, I mean, what the hell are they doing all the rest of the time? They're sitting there arguing anyway and holding things up without a filibuster. So, all that does is it give them time to extend it even more. But it's not like, you get rid of the filibuster and everything's just going to go, everything's going to go right through smooth and nothing's going to go slow anymore because the filibuster is gone.
No, I mean, look, that's what Mitch McConnell's saying, that he would still hold a quorum. He would still make it painful. That's his whole point. That even if we do eliminate the filibuster, at least that's a huge step forward. Like on this infrastructure bill, if we eliminate the filibuster, you could pass meaningful, massive legislation without a supermajority of 60 senators. The point is, it was never meant to be there in the first place. But you're right. I mean, Mitch McConnell said he's going to torch it down. If you do this, then I'll just make it real painful.
to proceed with a garden variety floor speech, to dispense with the reading of lengthy legislative text, to schedule committee business, to move even non-controversial nominees at anything besides a snail's pace. So, Mr. President, I want our colleagues to imagine a world where every single task, every one of them, requires a physical quorum.
That's what he's saying. Everything we do in the Senate. That's what I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to make you read everything out loud. You want to turn the lights on in the building? You're going to have to come down. We're physically going to have to get together. Yeah. Good. Maybe that means less vacations for you guys. Oh, you mean you have to be in Washington to get work done? Okay. All it takes to eliminate the filibuster and to unlock the agenda is 51 votes. All it takes to annihilate that agenda is to do nothing about it. So if they want to start passing these things that they campaigned on, they need to eliminate the filibuster. It will not pass otherwise. It will all be lip service. Green New Deal, you name it. There's nothing going to happen. And doing nothing is always the easiest choice for politicians, of course, right? They've done it for years. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, and it'll be impossible to get rid of if the president
below.
Isn't on board, correct?
Right. And that was why this was such a shockwave yesterday. I mean, President Biden saying that he's for reforming the filibuster right after Jen Psaki at a press conference said he wasn't. And now he clarifies it, and he's, he had some notes in his hand. Like, clearly, I don't know. I think clearly they're seeing the writing on the wall. It's like, go big or go home. I'm for it, I'm absolutely for it. They won an election. Biden won an election. Republicans lost in the Senate. That's the consequence of elections. And I just think filibuster is an excuse to not get anything done from both parties. And to me, it gives you cover. The filibuster gives you cover to not get anything done. And I think in many ways, it forces you to be a good legislator. It forces your hand. They don't have it in the House of Representatives. They can pass with a simple majority in the House of Representatives meaningful legislation, and then it goes to the Senate to die. It was never meant to happen that way. And so this creation of this cloture filibuster has got to go. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop me a comment below about that. I want to tell you about our friends over at Policy Genius. These guys are fantastic. Here is a look at Policy Genius right here. What I love about these guys is if you want to save a boatload of money on insurance, you need to check out Policy Genius. I'm telling you, we've heard from so many of you who've tried it. How it works is, look, spring is coming in as we speak. David and I talked about it, right? It's March 17th. It's a perfect reminder to start tidying up, get your life in order, like David just cleaned out his garage this weekend. So why not start by protecting your family with life insurance? Policy Genius can help you compare top insurers all in one place and save 50% or more. Once you find the best option, the Policy Genius team will set up your new policy for you and answer any questions you have along the way. Here's how you can get started. First, go to policygenius.com, and in minutes, you can figure out how much coverage you need, compare quotes, find your best price. They make it easy to compare policies from as little as $15 a month. You might even be eligible to skip the in-person medical exam. Since their licensed agents work for you, not the insurance companies, there's zero hassle. If you hit any speed bumps during the application process, Policy Genius will take care of everything. That's why they have a 5-star rating across thousands of reviews on Trustpilot and Google. And the best part? All the benefits of Policy Genius, the comparison tool, the handling of the paperwork, the unbiased advice, all are totally free to use. So while you're tidying up around the house this spring, why not get your life insurance organized as well? You can save 50% or more by comparing quotes and feel good knowing that if something happens, your loved ones will be taken care of. Go to policygenius.com to get started today. Go to policygenius.com right now to save 50% or more. Try them out to get started. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. Thanks, Policy Genius. Thanks to them. Meanwhile, today in Washington, members of Congress hate spending money on poor people, but they sure love spending money on projects like new bridges, museums, so they get to take all the credit back home. Well, get ready, folks, because there's a massive amount of spending about to happen. So this is the hypocrisy that I love, because House Republicans today are expected to vote on reversing their big ban on earmarks. So Republicans voted to ban earmarks, okay? And now they are voting today to reverse it, so that they can feel free to spend money on infrastructure bills. So according to Politico this morning, GOP lawmakers and aides have said that if the GOP conference overturns its ban, as leadership expects they will, this would basically represent a major shift for Republicans. They banned the practice of earmarks. Remember, they were all out. They took over in 2011. They were like, we can't, no more earmarks, can't have earmarks. We can't have members of Congress going back home and taking credit for that bridge that they built. Now Republicans are saying, we tried that for a little while, and we're going to reverse that. And it could put pressure on the Senate Republicans to follow suit, because both House Democrats and Republicans would be basically putting earmarks in these new bills. And here's how this shift will actually happen. Basically, it would give Congress a bigger voice in directing spending that it appropriates. It would also reassert the legislative branch's power in Washington, basically saying, hey, White House, we'll take that back from you. Right now, we'll take it back from you. So they get to take all of this money. And, the argument from the GOP side is that, look, it basically, this is member-directed spending. Like, it lets us take control of how money is spent instead of giving it to the Biden administration. Like, now we can basically say here in the House and here in the Senate, those roads, that new airport? Yeah, that was me. That was me. My name is Senator John. That was me. That museum? That was me. So they love being able to affix their name to these types of projects. But when it comes to, voting for stimulus for the American people, no, they're not into that. Republicans aren't into spending, having their name tied to you getting a $1,400 check. So, right now, the leadership is also going to gain in power, because they'd ultimately have to have that authority basically to take trouble-making lawmakers' earmarks out of bills. They'd be able to go in and be like, no, scratch that, scratch that, scratch that. Earmarks would also give Republican appropriations lobbyists a new lease on life. So all of these lobbyists are going to be able to go, hey, Senator, I know that you've got earmarks back and available again. Should we get together for lunch? Got a little project I'd love to run by you down there in Washington. Me and my lobbying firm would love to have a conversation with you.
We can go get our martini lunch.
We'll have our 3 martini lunch, which is now a write-off, thanks to President Trump. So the new earmark process has basically been designed so that no private companies can get money, only localities and sort of quasi-government agencies. But what does that mean? So basically no private companies can. Right, that's going to happen. So no private companies are going to get any of this money. You don't think that there's risk of abuse here? Members will have to declare publicly it's their earmark, and they'll have to certify that they have no financial interest in the provision, which is good. So members of Congress can say, okay, I'm putting forth this earmark on this new bridge. I do not own any steel companies. I do not own any concrete companies that would benefit from this bridge being built. Right. And as it can't go to a private company, just nonprofits or groups carrying out governmental functions can get this money. Oh, a nonprofit. When did this nonprofit start? Oh, it started last week. It's a new nonprofit. I smell a rat. There's going to be a limit on how many earmarks a member can request. Just 1% of any spending bill can be set aside for earmarks. So it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be something. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let's open it up for some super chats. I wanted to work that story in because that's a big vote going to happen today. I just love the hypocrisy of it all. Althea sent in a photo. She got her Grover mug. Thank you, Althea, for sending that photo in. Appreciate it. Let's see. We get the super chats up here. Mia, and the brown one is Zoe. Helen Capone sent this in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They're cute. What kind of dogs do you think those are?
It looks like
it
looks like Chihuahua or Rat Terrier mix, maybe.
Yeah. Here's Captain Deadbeard and Princess Abigail. Captain Deadbeard and Princess Abigail. Is that an iguana and a turtle? I love that they're friends. They're just hanging out on each other.
Yeah.
Send in your pet photos. Pets@morninginvest.com is the email address. Pets@morninginvest.com. We're going to get more of those up here shortly. Let's see if I can get any more of these in here while we're pulling up some super chatty chats today. Do we get any new channel members today?
Yes, we got 11 new channel members.
Right. Welcome to a new.
I'll start reading some because some of them are just comments, so you can look for pet photos. So we got $5 from Family Hero Channel. I'm not judging, but how ridiculous. I think he's referring to people not watching because of the tech issues. Scott Stickler, new member, welcome. Family Hero Channel, $5. Thank you so much for the kind words yesterday, Clayton. My name is Tim Asuncion.
You're welcome, Tim. And thank you for that. That's very kind. Here's Simba from BJ in Vidor, Texas. Thank you for sending in Simba.
Okay, we got Lisa B, $5. Small things affect small minds. That is so true. Shannon Chambers, $4.99. Good morning, Clayton, Grover, and David. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Tracy Nixon, $4.99.
St. Patrick's Day.
Just ordered my Grover mug. Can't wait to get it.
Awesome. Send in a photo when you get it.
Alex, $4.99. I made more this year and I owe about $4,800. Will that be taken from my stimulus? I checked my status and it still doesn't have a deposit date.
Sorry, ask that question again. You made more.
I made
this
more
year.
this year and I owe about $4,800. Will that be taken from my stimulus?
No. The IRS is not taking money. Any of the federal agencies are not touching your money. So they'll send you your check and you've got to figure that out for your taxes separately.
That's like, yeah, the federal government won't touch it, but private industry can. That's ridiculous. Family Hero Channel, $5. Nothing would stop me from watching, especially typical difficulties.
Thank you.
Jody Nicholson, $5. Uh-oh, Clayton's not wearing green. Everybody send him a virtual pinch. He is, though. We already established that. You don't want to stand up and show him your Speedo, do you?
No, I do not. No one wants to see that. But I did turn the lights green. So the lights are now green for St. Patty's Day.
Yes, and so the hue of the green is reflecting off of your sweatshirt. So technically now you do have green on your sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's true. Now the whole studio is green.
Renegade King, $4.99. Getting keys to our new build in May with an FHA loan. Is it bad, or are we allowed to try for mortgage forbearance after we move in?
Well, you have till June. You have till June, I believe, to file for mortgage forbearance. I think June 30th or June. The last day in June is what President Biden extended it to. So I believe you have until then to do that if you need to. But I don't know when you're moving in. I can't, like, if you're moving in May, you probably won't even have your first mortgage payment until June. And would you already want to file for mortgage forbearance, like in a new property that you're moving into? You know, the problem is if you can try to make those payments, the problem is that these are just kicking the can down the street. You have to file a boatload of paperwork to do these mortgage forbearance too. It's not easy. So if you can avoid that headache, I would.
Family Hero Channel, $5. Clayton wearing a banana hammock. LOL, LOL, LOL. This is why I watch. Not only is the news amazing, but I laugh every show.
Thank you. Yeah, no one wants to see a banana hammock on me. I'll tell you that right now.
Billy Stillman, $5. Thank you, Clayton, for everything you do. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Happy St. Patty's Day to you.
Lorne 99, $8. Why are lawmakers just now surprised at predatory debt collection tactics? Been a problem for decades. Love your program, by the way.
Right. And my point was, it was also a problem during the last stimulus. In March, they had to go back and fix it then. Hello? It was a 600-page bill. You couldn't have put that provision in there.
Crystal Lambert, $10. I paid my rent the whole pandemic and my bills still got evicted. Eviction and credit card bills should not be happening, period. I love your show.
Thank you. I agree with you. You know, we're helping forbearance right now, but we're not helping, very little in the way of rental assistance. The rental assistance, that $24 billion that President Trump signed in December, still hasn't even rolled out. Like, what the heck? In the meantime, people are losing their homes. But there was rental assistance available that you guys signed into law back in December? Where is it?
Lisa Birch Easel, new member, welcome. King Donovan Duval, $10. I didn't get my stimulus and I bank with Chase and I checked the IRS site and they say that I have no info on me and I'm on Social Security. Why is this happening?
I don't know. In fact, I'm seeing SSI not even until March 29th, like these delays. It's ridiculous. Why is this happening? We're in the middle of tax season at the IRS. We're in a pandemic, and many of them are remote working. They're not even in the office. So a lot of those paper mail-in tax returns are sitting in trucks in the bottom of the IRS building. And number 3, they passed a stimulus on top of that during tax time. Talk about a perfect storm of bureaucracy. That's what you're in right now.
Trevoria Yerby, $5. Clayton, I thought Mitch McConnell was gone. Did he lose power?
He's the minority leader. But in a Senate where I guess we just give anyone power who wants it, who can stand up and block anything. He's the Senate minority leader. And he can stand up now. Yes, he still has power. He's the leader of Republicans in the Senate. And as a member of the Senate, you can basically... That's why nothing happens in the Senate. You wonder, are they ever going to pass legislation? This is a way to do it. Get rid of this filibuster.
Angel M, new member, welcome. Mr. Shark, $44.88, $5. I want to put $100 into Webull. Is that deal of free stock still available?
Yes, it is. But you have to use our link to do it. So go to morninginvest.com/Webull, and you will be entered into a chance to win 2 free stocks. You automatically get 2 free stocks after you make that deposit. But you will also be entered to get premium stocks: Google, Facebook, Starbucks, Apple. And those stocks are worth thousands just for opening a free account. And then, like I said, you can sell the stocks right inside the account. Just hit the trade button and sell your stocks. And now it's cash. Now you've got $100 plus your free stock money. And then you can buy crypto if you want. So you could buy Bitcoin if you want. Or you could close the account and send that money back to your bank account. Itchy eye today. Pollen in the air.
Sergio Martinez, $5. My wife found out that even though we have our direct deposit info at the IRS, they are sending check because we owed this year instead of direct deposit.
They're going to include it in your refund? That's interesting.
Beyond Human Vision, $4.99. Did you hear about the Atlanta spa shooting yesterday that killed 8? 6 of them were Asian women. Anti-Asian related crime has risen due to COVID-19.
Yeah, horrible. And there's a hearing to be held on this as well in Congress because of this anti-Asian violence. This guy was 21 years old. Went to 3 different massage parlors and opened fire. Awful.
CJ, $5. If you set up and are making payments with the collection agency, can they still take the remaining amount owed from your stimulus checks?
They shouldn't be able to unless they have access through any kind of a judgment that has access to your account. if they've won a judgment or a deficiency judgment in a court order, then they would have access to your accounts. Like basically the court would give them access to your account before you get access to it. They get login information and they have like anything that hits that account, they get. If you haven't crossed that bridge, then you should be okay. But hey, I would recommend if you get a paper check, that's why you could set up a new account. I would set up like a new account with Chime, and you get $75 for free. That way, if you get a paper check in the mail, they don't have access to that checking account because it's a new account. And then you could deposit it there, or just go to get it at the bank. Just have them turn it to cash and give you cash instead.
Jody DeTunk, $5.
Come on, man.
That was his comment. Come on, man. There you go.
Come on, man.
Roger Reese, new member. Welcome. Patricia Danko, $5.
Hey, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question from Joe Garza about Webull. It says, Clayton, Webull was asking for my routing number and bank account information and password when I went to apply for the free stocks. Why is that? Well, it's a brokerage account, Joe. Like, think of it as like a bank account. It's as secure as a bank account. And so when you're setting up your account for the first time, like they need a bank account that you are going to be able to deposit money in. So like I set my Wells Fargo checking account up through Webull. So that's what you have to do, because you have to be able to deposit $100 in the account, or anytime you want to buy stocks, they need to have an account. You can't just mail them an envelope of money to buy stocks. Same thing with Robinhood, any of the brokerages like TD Ameritrade, you have to set up a bank account within them. Hope that makes sense. But it's and the reason they make you go through showing ID, proving who you are, it's like extra layers of security as a brokerage. They have a lot of compliance stuff that they have to hit with the federal government to make sure that they're secure and safe. Hope that makes sense.
Talking tax, John, $5. Why did the filibuster begin, and when was the first filibuster?
The first filibuster was in 1841 over a little like random. It had to do with patronage. It was like a patronage law. It was something really, really minor. But it wasn't until like a year later where we actually had like a larger filibuster that had consequences. And then we've had these filibusters then from there. And then, of course, like I said, throughout history, they've been used to really like stop important legislation that would help people. So, it's been one of those things where it's gotten in the way for so many years, and it's blocked our ability to get anything meaningful done. And especially over the last few years. If you wonder like why we haven't heard of like meaningful legislation in the past few years, it's because of this exact reason. It's because, we just haven't been able to pass anything. I mean, it's really, Mitch McConnell likes to pretend that it's part of our process. No, it's not, actually. It's the reason nothing gets done.
Kristen Swenson, $10. Happy St. Patrick's Day. In parentheses, who's not wearing green? ? We are.
Are you guys all wearing green today?
Jeannie
We sent the
Jolie,
kids
new
off to
member.
school
Hey,
this morning
Jeannie.
and we're like, oh crap. I didn't have any green on them. Like, man, we're not good fake Irish people today.
Yeah. I forgot it was St. Patrick's Day until you said it when we got on the show. I don't even pay attention to holidays anymore. It's like they just come and go, and I'm like, oh, yesterday was a holiday? Okay, I'm kind of like the dude. So this is a weekday?
Yeah, what's funny is that there's no reason why, it's like St. Patrick's Day, we learned from our Scottish friends, really, like St. Andrew's Day should be bigger in November, like a bigger, the Feast of St. Andrew. It was, it was their national day, should have been anyway, but then like all the marketing around St. Patrick's Day made it a bigger to do, because it was, like drinking Guinness and da-da-da-da. It was like, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was even as a result of Guinness promoting St. Patrick's Day. So like the reason we know St. Andrew's Day less than we know St. Patrick's Day is because of marketing.
Jeannie Jolie, welcome, new member. I thought you were already a member, Jeannie, but nice seeing you again. Marie Davis, $5. Republicans block everything Dems want to pass, then run campaigns on the premise that Dems did not do anything for us and win elections. Kind of think that goes both ways.
Right. Oh, yeah, they both do it. You know, and that's why I was saying earlier that this is cover. You get to run and say, we're going to pass this. We're going to pass a meaningful infrastructure bill. We're going to, you know, protect your right to vote. We're going to do all of this stuff.
Those $2,000 checks will go out immediately.
Right. And then what happens is it hits the Senate, and both parties know that all that rhetoric out on the campaign trail goes to die in the Senate because of the filibuster, that you need a supermajority to get anything done.
Thornhill Robinson, new member. Welcome. Alex Jones. Hey, Alex Jones. Nice to see you again, man. Now, why
Thanks,
wouldn't
Alex.
they have done this sooner in reference to filibuster removal? If the Republicans really wanted it gone, sounds like a play.
Well, I think there is, the way that I've read it over the years, in interviews that I've had with different senators and members of the House of Representatives, they see it, I think they publicly again say that it's part of our history. It gives us the ability to, you know, where one party doesn't run rampant over the other. And those people who are long-standing members of the Senate think they're scared. They're scared what would happen to change the institution. You know, it's always better. It's like the devil is, what's the saying? Like the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, right? So like you just hang out, you keep that same structure in place, and it provides cover for you to not get anything done. And so now, like, I think you have enough people who are so fed up with this process where big, meaningful legislative bills go to die. I mean, there's so many big bills right now that are just sitting there that can't get through. They're just going to die in the Senate because of this filibuster. That's it. So they've got to end it, or we're never going to get anything done.
Family Hero Channel, $5. Everyone, please sign up for the free newsletter. Why, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, our free newsletter is right down here. You can go to morninginvest.com, publish it first thing in the morning. So thanks to the many hundreds of you who signed up yesterday. So your first newsletter today that you would have received was our St. Patrick's Day edition.
Liz Alexander, do I have to do amendment on taxes to get the $10,200 back? I love your show.
Well, as Michelle Edwards, our tax expert, and as John Shanks, our talking tax expert here, Michelle, you want to answer that question? Has the IRS, or John, do you want to weigh in on that? Do we need to do they need to file an amendment yet? I know we were waiting on the IRS to tell us what to do. Did they give us any indication on what to do yet? We were waiting on that. So let's keep an eye out in the chat here to see if they need to file an amendment. Because basically the IRS is basically waiting on that amendment thing. I think they don't want to be inundated with amendments.
Rhonda Draper, new member, welcome. John Kowalski, $4.99. Thank you. Matthew Stusser, $5. If they were going to help us with a $2,000 recurring stimulus, wouldn't they have pushed it through with the last one instead of the $1,400?
The infrastructure or another stimulus?
With the $1,400 stimulus, wouldn't they, like, instead of giving us $1,400, if they were going to actually do a reoccurring, wouldn't they have done it then?
It's a good question. I mean, I think they could do it anytime. But I think the infrastructure package is seen as such a massive package that this is a way for them to have some kind of cover of putting in a recurring stimulus inside of an infrastructure bill. That's why 11 senators are coming forward calling for that right now, and 50 Democrats are pushing for it as well.
Well,
to have recurring stimulus payments inside of the infrastructure package.
And just understand, they passed the $1,400 with no Republican support, meaning that if they could have got Manchin and Sinema on board or whatever, they could have passed $2,000 a recurring. They could have done $600 unemployment. They could have done a lot more than they did with the bill that went out. They just decided not to. That was because like they didn't even, like Manchin said, they didn't even try to talk to him about it. They were more worried about Republicans that ended up not being needed anyway. So.
Yeah, and Mitch McConnell even said the other day, on his floor speech, he said, oh, these Democrats are trying to twist the arm of their West Virginia colleagues and their Arizona colleague, talking about Manchin and Sinema. Try to twist their arms, getting them to go along with this boondoggle of a stimulus. So, might as well, it's Manchin and Sinema on the Democratic side. So not only do they need to get rid of the stimulus or rid of the filibuster, they need to really rein those two in if they're going to get anything done. Are they going to vote with Republicans or are they going to vote with Democrats? Who knows what those two?
Well, and that's the thing. Like everybody was told, they don't need Republicans to pass stuff. They got control of the House, so they did manage to get this stimulus bill passed. But if you look at like what was removed, like they said, they could have done $2,000 or whatever. This just shows you the Democrats don't want that either.
Right, and Manchin was never going to support $2,000 recurring stimulus checks. But hey, to me, that's where you start the negotiation. Okay, you don't want $2,000, Joe Manchin? Well, then what do you want? Can we do $1,500? What about $1,000? What about $500 a month? $500 a month in recurring stimulus for people would still be transformative. Look what it did to that in Stockton, California. Their universal basic income program was a huge success. $500 a month for needy families. Helped lift people out of poverty, allowed them to get back and get jobs, put food on the table. It was a huge success. $500. So maybe we don't need $2,000. Use that as a starting negotiation, though. Right? And work from there.
Zenith Star, $27. Clayton, I have not gotten my stimulus. Said I got my federal refund before the bill passed, but have not received stimulus. What would hold it up?
Well, we had a couple of things that would have held it up. We got yesterday, Michelle let us know yesterday a couple of this. Michelle Edwards sent this over. Here are a couple of things. Here are 5 things that would actually hold it up. Number 1, there's an IRS error that was impacting the Where's My Refund tool. Number 2, additions. If you have any additions of the child or the children dependents, that could cause a delay. And remember also, as she points out, that the 2020 tax season is delayed 30 days. It was already behind. So they shut down last tax season for a period of time, and they didn't start actually accepting returns until 30 days later. And as she points out, there's a lot of those returns. If you've mailed in a return, a lot of those were left underneath in the building inside of IRS trucks. Now, you said you filed yours, you got your refund already, so that's already taken care of. So then the stimulus is the next thing that has to come out. And again, there's all kinds of delays that could be associated there. If you filed by mail last year, did the IRS say they didn't have a record of your 2019 tax return, and yet you mailed it last year? So they might be like saying, wait a second, we're looking for your 2019 because we just processed your 2020, and those two parts of the building aren't talking to each other. So there's a couple of things. And also right now, the IRS is discouraging those amendments to address that $10,200 unemployment. So I can't speak to your specific reason, but please go to their website. I think they've got that status part of irs.gov fixed now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. Blake Daughtry, new member, welcome. Benjamin, $5. Thank you for the morning story time. My son really enjoyed the one about the angry turtle.
My pleasure.
Joe Kohansky, $4.99. Thank you. Atomic Toaster Yo, $1.99. Thank you. Thorn Real Robinson, $1. Thank you. Sherry Dixon, $5. I want to say hugs to everyone. And Livia Clayton, I think she means love. Mr. Future President, for all you do. We, the Dixons, love our Clayton family.
You are so kind. Thank you so much.
Daniel Smith, new member, welcome. Go ahead.
Here's Lily. Michelle DeCiantis. Michelle DeCiantis from Las Vegas sent in this picture of Lily. That is cute. Is that a Pomeranian, you think?
It looks like a palm, yeah.
Cute.
Looks like a palm mixed with like American Eskimo or something. Nathaniel Turner, $5. Right. A nonprofit opening last week connected to a construction company owned by a member of Congress. Yeah, I'm not a junkie in recovery.
Exactly. Talking about earmarks and how, well, it can't be private companies, but it can be nonprofits. Ooh, okay. How could I skirt this law?
Rumple Gold, $4.99. Hey, Wave Clayton, when are you planning to host your first live audience? I want to book my flight a year in advance.
It's not a bad idea.
Maybe you could do like a Trevor Noah type tour and do live shows like Jimmy Dore does that too.
Yeah. Have you ever seen back on, if anyone ever watched the old Comedy Channel? It was before, it was the Ha network, then it was the Comedy Channel, then it became Comedy Central. But the Comedy Channel, there used to be a show called the Alex Havey Show. Alex Havey Live or something with Alex Havey or whatever. I think he was actually one of the owners of the channel. Anyway, he had his own show. It was like a late night talk show. And you could apply to be in his audience of one every day. So he had an audience, but it was only one person. And it was a great idea. And they had it roped off. Like they had a chair and it like was roped off with like one person sitting there. And they would interview him. They'd be like, well, where are you from? You know, and it was funny. Because they just didn't, it was Comedy Channel. They didn't have like the capacity for a big studio audience, I guess. So they had the awesome audience of one. It was good.
Hugo Arellano, $4.99. Thank you. Blake Daughtry, $5. With all these beautiful pet pics, you should make pet clothes with your logo, Clay. Clayton, not Clay.
Yeah. I know. I've been trying to see if I can get some of the little the dog sweatshirts and things like that. I think that would be great. So I'm trying to work on those. I just want to make sure the sizes are right for people. That's the issue, and the colors. So I think we're going to do that. Here's a pet photo from This is Daisy. Someone sent in this photo of Daisy. It's a little, hey, do me a favor. You send a pet photo. I'd rather, and it looks almost like a Star Trek hat in the background there. I'd rather see the dog in focus rather than the Star Trek hat. Although I am a huge Star Trek fan. As you know, I've got huge Star Trek fan. But Daisy, I'd love to see Daisy in focus.
Sandy Garrett, $4.99. Can they take your stimulus for a Stanford student loan?
Stanford? Or are you talking about Stafford loan? Federal government loan? Stafford loan? Stanford
Probably
is,
Stafford.
I don't know if it like Stafford. If it's a Stafford loan, no, they cannot. There again, any federal agency is not allowed to touch your stimulus check. Okay, it's these third party. It's like medical billers and things like that have been getting their grubby little hands on it.
Clifford Corrett, $4.99. What company should I use to open a Roth IRA for my kids?
I would set up a self-directed IRA. And a self-directed IRA, there's a couple of custodians that we use personally. So I have Equity Trust. Equity Trust is a really good one. Actually, stand by. I'm going to ask my team who we use. On my team, we have, because we can set up self-directed IRAs in like 10 minutes. And let me find out. I think it's Provident. That's it. I didn't have to ask my team. Provident. Now, Provident is a self-directed IRA company. Okay, the difference between like Wells Fargo or Chase or anybody else managing it is that they'll take money out. With Provident or Equity Trust, you have total checkbook control, okay, of your self-directed IRA. And what you can do is then you can use that money to let grow tax-free until till retirement. So you can use that money, you can invest in gold, real estate inside of the self-directed IRA. So Provident is a really good one. So is Equity Trust. And I invest in real estate inside of my self-directed IRA. That means all of the cash flow from a tenant in that property goes into the account, and I don't touch it. I can't touch it till I'm 59 years old. And it grows tax-free. So it's an amazing investment vehicle for your kids in their future. But if you're saving up for college, my advice would be don't spend money on college. Move to Europe where you can get free college. Do not go into student loan debt. By the way, coming up later today on the show, I'm going to be featuring a story about student loan debt. And it's going to blow your mind. And it's really troubling. So I just think the United States of America right now with student loan debt, I don't want to see people for student loan debt for degrees that are becoming more and more meaningless in the United States.
Joe D'Angelo, $5. Got my $1,400 in my Chase account at 4 a.m. this morning. Thanks for the great show, Clayton and team.
You are welcome.
Barbara Burke, $5. My Grover mug has been ordered. Waiting for it. Love your show. Even if I'd be late for the live show, been busy with my dad in mornings. Crystal Williams.
Thank you.
$5. I love all of your great advice. Do you have everything? I started investing with Webull, and I've already saw a small return happening.
Way to go, man. Way
Casey,
to go.
$4. Way to go, Paula. Way to go. Wasn't that, officer and gentleman?
Yeah.
KC, $4.99. Good morning, guys. Thank you for doing what you do. Have an awesome day. Stacy Novus, new member.
you.
Welcome. Rumple Gold, $4.99. P.S. I enjoy your technical issues. David is an absolute delight, and the music is relaxing as I drive the garbage truck. Nice.
You have to say, David, you really read that comment with like a lot more energy than you've read some of the other ones. I don't know what it was about that comment.
I don't know either.
You came alive.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, I want to make mention that Provident website, because there's a couple of, I don't want you to get confused. The self-directed IRA website for Provident that we use personally is trustprovident.com. So I don't want you to Google search, like, I don't know which one he's talking about. The website is trustprovident with an ENT, trustprovident.com. Can someone type that into the chat? Don't put the www because it'll block you. We don't allow links, but just put trustprovident.com with an ENT, not ANT, trustprovident.com. I'm going to help our folks out here.
Chris White, $4.99. Enjoy the show. I sent my pet photo in several times and still haven't seen it.
Mark, let me dig for it, my friend. I'm sorry.
Chris, it's Chris White.
Oh, Chris.
That's okay. Chris, Mark. Potato.
Yes.
Anger, Mr. Swords, $20. Thank you for the $20. Good morning, Clayton, Grover, Natalie, and David. Love your show. You guys rock. Keep up the good work. Love you all. Then we got Christiane Mitchell, Hot Mom of 5, and Dedry Thomas as new members. Welcome. Carol Maciel, $2.
Hot Mom of 5.
Hot Mom of 5.
I love that. I'm going to change my screen name to Hot Dad of 3.
Hot Mom with 2 T's. So.
I love that.
Ruben Delgado, $5. Do you think when a politician becomes president, they have to back out of certain promises once they are briefed?
Oh, briefed. Well, look, I think especially on like military spending, yes. Look at President Trump. He was running. He wanted to end our foreign wars. Great. Who wouldn't want to support that? That's why he won the Republican primary. That's why Jeb Bush didn't have a comeback when they were on stage. Jeb Bush fumbled around, couldn't tell why he supported Iraq, the war in Iraq, and then he had to come back and say that he was against it. He was a laughingstock. His brother's war in Iraq. And President Trump asked him straight out on the stage, like, do you support your brother going into Iraq? And he couldn't answer it. Right? And then President Trump gets in there, and he didn't start any new wars. Good, finally. But he also spent an additional 20% on defense spending. He was campaigning on, why are we spending so much on this random stuff? And like, people got to him. I mean, Joint Chiefs of Staff basically undercut him, wanting to get out of Afghanistan. So yes, I think that that's true. Also, I think on the UFO issue, people run on that issue, and then they get in there and they're briefed on what's going on at Area 51 and all these other military bases where they have down UFOs. They've been reverse engineering it for years. And we have these secret government programs, and they're told to keep quiet about it. Yes.
Chit-chat 0064 $5. I'm unable to deposit to Webull from Chime. I do not have any other brick and mortar building bank account. How else can I deposit to Webull?
From Chime, you can't?
Yeah, somebody else was saying that too, that they couldn't use Chime to connect to Webull.
I think you can, because I've connected mine to Webull. You might have to, I think what they do is they make two tiny little deposits, Webull does, to check. They'll put in like a 1 cent, 2 cent or whatever. In the next few days, they'll make a tiny deposit to connect your accounts. I think they might use Plaid, which is another service, PLAID, to connect those services. So that might be a little funky. You might need to reach out to their customer service. Reach out to Chime's customer service and ask them how they can work with Plaid to connect your accounts. Because I know it's only a matter of that issue. You should be able to do it.
Rhonda Nicholson, new member, welcome. Yolanda Thompson, $5. Hi, I love the show, but I would like to know what's up with the child credit for the kids.
It's available this year for those people who have, children, $3,600 per child under 16 years old, and then $3,000 above that. And there's no limit on the amount. Michelle Edwards or Talking Tax, do we know yet how people can apply for that? Are they asking people to... This is a great question. We're still trying to figure this out from the IRS. Do you have to apply for an amendment to it to get it? I would love to know the answer to that, because I don't believe we have an answer from the IRS on that question just yet.
Kristen Swenson, welcome, new member. You're not new, are you, Kristen? I think you just renewed or something.
No.
David Blanton, $5. Okay. I want to thank you for what you and David do. I'm registered as Republican, but have turned independent. I have tuned into your show. You keep it real.
Oh, thank you so much. Welcome to the independent club, unplugged from the Matrix.
Queen Doreen Augusto, $5. Thank you. John Murray, $14.99. Republicans argue that we cannot tax the wealthy and corporations like we used to because there is so much competition on the world stage now. It's not the 50s and 80s anymore. How do you respond?
That we can't tax the rich? I think that's garbage. Republicans argue we cannot tax the wealthy and corporations like we used to because there's so much competition on the world stage. Really? Give me a break. I mean, look how well businesses have done. Over the past 20 years, or actually since the 1980s, income inequality in the United States has increased dramatically. Since we reduced taxes on corporations, income inequality in the United States. And look at these businesses that are making money hand over fist. Billions.
Well, Apple, almost trillions.
Yeah. Look at Exxon. Look at all these oil companies, and they're paying zero in taxes. I love that that's the Republican argument. Sure. Makes a lot of sense. Sure. Because the system we've got right now is working, right?
Yeah. It's perfect.
Right? So, what you're basically arguing then is the status quo is great. How everything is right now is great. That's what they're arguing.
Eric Alicia, new member, welcome. Alex Jones, again, $5. Love the chuckle every time you see my name, but I do reiterate, I'm not the Alex you know.
I hope so.
Daniel Smith, $10. Explain more about the infrastructure and stimulus talk with that.
Well, the infrastructure bill is going to be massive. It's the next item on Democrats' agenda. It's likely to be upwards of $4 trillion. It will include roads, bridges, green energy. It'll include taxes on the wealthy. There's questions as to whether or not it will include recurring stimulus checks. recurring stimulus checks, a whole host of additional things across the United States, charging stations across the country. This is going to be like green infrastructure. It's going to be massive. And Republicans support a lot of it. They're not going to support the green energy pieces of it, the climate pieces of it. And I doubt that very much that they'll include or count or care about the any kind of recurring stimulus check pieces of this. But these are all things that are going to be discussed, and they're going to likely have to pass it through reconciliation without any Republican help, unless they get rid of the stimulus, the filibuster. So hopefully that brings you up to speed on that.
Mimi McSwain, $5. Devin XP, $5. IRS put a bank account for stimulus that isn't even mine. Lines are too busy. What should I do? Honestly, I haven't the slightest clue. So it sounds like they put his stimulus check in an account that's not even his.
Honestly, are you able to go to, if you're able to go to the IRS website and make sure, I don't know if you're able to go into the Get My Payment portal here on the irs.gov and look through their frequently asked questions, or click on the Get Payment button and type in your name and information. And if there is an error, because this happened before, so put in your social security number, your date of birth, etc., and then go through this process. And I'm hoping that at least this will point you in the right direction. Let me know, John or Michelle, if you think that there's a better solution for Devon. I think also if they don't have your information, let's see if I can even send to, might even be under their, I can't type on this browser. If there's a frequently asked questions section on that, because that happened last time, and they were having people go in and fill out correct information in order to send them a paper check. Like if you got it wrong, or if they got it wrong, they might end up having to send you a paper check instead, from what I understand. Let's see if we get
Sharon Taylor, $1. Lisa Petite, $4. Did you find it?
I didn't. I was waiting to see if we got a response, but didn't see it.
Lisa Petite, $4.99, or Pettit. Why are there only 239 beans in Irish chili? Because otherwise it would be too farty. Say with Irish brogue.
I'm going to use that one with the kids tonight. That's a good. Send us your Irish jokes, by the way. That's a good
Irish.
one,
You said
Irish.
Iris.
Iris? Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Maybe
it's early.
My lisp kicked in.
Edson Barboza, $10. Good morning. I just got my stimulus today, but I did not get the $1,400 per child. I have two. I yet have to receive my tax refund, and it's been over a month.
Sorry to hear that, Edson. Why isn't... That's weird. You got your stimulus, but you didn't got the $1,400 per children yet. Do they know you have children? Like, did you have children after you last filed taxes? That could be an issue, or they don't even know you have children. Hopefully they do. Then that's... Man. I do not... I wish... I would not want to work at the IRS today. I can tell you right now.
Or ever.
Yeah.
Eva Shahada, $4.99. Thank you. Renee Winter, new member. Andrea Sosi, $4.99. Good morning, Clayton, David, and of course Grover from the cannabis-friendly state of Maine. So, David, if you need plants for your studio, I got my stimmy.
Yeah, look at David's studio. Actually, I could probably grow them in here now, too.
Yeah, I do have a grow light right here with a plant, but I don't have the grow light on right now. So, Christine Woods, new member, welcome. Doris Stevenson, $10. Clayton, David, and Handsome Grover, love the show, eyes wide open. Ruth Peterson, new member. Family Hero Channel, $5. Grover calendar. Oh, shoot.
Ooh, I like that, a Grover calendar. We could do like a Grover like beauty calendar shoot, you know?
I got Jennifer
like
a calendar, and it's different dogs taking a dump.
Yeah, I don't know that my wife would let me put that up on the wall, like on our refrigerator. She'd much rather have just like a photo like this or something. Like a peaceful photo.
Alex the Bounty Hunter, $10. Axel the Bounty Hunter, sorry. Getting ready to get my new car legal with SOS. I have a great day. Bought a 2000 Mercedes E320 for $1,200 with only 138,000 miles and almost perfect condition.
Nice.
Gonna be finding some bounty in that car.
Yeah. For some
Nikisha
booty in
Kulan?
that car, Axel.
Nikisha Kulan, $9.99. I've been struggling. I got the first stim, but not the second and not even the third yet. I'm qualified for both. I filed my taxes the day they sent the third out after they were rejected the first time.
So on their, have they added that thing to their website yet? They have the recovery rebate. Is it here? Here it is. So remember, is it Nikesha or Nikisha?
Yeah, Nikisha.
Here, right here on their website. See this big pile of money when you go to irs.gov? Okay. If you didn't get your stimulus from the first two or the second one, you go here and you click on this. Okay. And then if you didn't get the full economic impact payment, you may be eligible to claim it and a recovery rebate credit. Okay. And you have to file that form to do that. Okay. So you should get that back in the form of a rebate and they'll send it to you.
Cinnamon Opong, new member, welcome. Benjamin, $5. Also, happy St. Patty's Day. Thank you for all the great live shows. This isn't the end of the rainbow, but here's a tiny pot of gold.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Chit Chat 64, $1. Thank you. Patricia Decker, $5. Hi, Clayton and David. You are awesome. I sent my pet photo. Haven't seen it yet.
Okay, let's see. I got a few more here.
And then we got Mark Downing, Tabri Enoch, Nancy JP55, William Ryder, and Debbie D, new members. Welcome. And then we got Rocker S and Deborah Ray, also new members. And Bob, $5, got my check, but wife is on SSI, has not received her check. And Anthony Garment wants to know for $2, is Phoenix Gold selling shares?
Yeah, they should be. The owners of Phoenix Gold only have 50% held back. The other 50% is public. It's low volume and it's pretty cheap. And I think it's on the OTC market, so you need to buy it on an OTC market, if I'm not mistaken. Hi, Clayton. I love your show. Look how adorable that photo is. Thank you, Ro. In a Morning Invest sweatshirt. Thank you, Ro. Send us any of your photos. You get a merch shirt. You get anything like Morning Invest hoodie. It's my favorite hoodie. Thank you so much. Here is Tomasina. This is so sad. This is from Peter. Peter sent this photo in. My Tomasina died 2 days ago.
Oh, man.
Rest in peace, Tomasina. Thank you for sharing, though.
Well, it looks like it was a happy cat.
Sharon, probably. Yeah. Brought probably lots of love to you and the family. Here's Michelle Knott. This is my cat, Kelly, and we are from Mount Airy. Is Mount Airy, Virginia, right? Mount Airy, Virginia, I think.
Lost me on that one. I'm not sure on that one.
Mount Airy. I think it's Mount Airy, Virginia. Thank you, Michelle. Here's Moofy, Maleficent. From Teline sent this in. Moofy. And I got a Love Bug. Sweet little Yorkie. Love Bug. Thank you for sending us a picture of Love Bug. Celine Nelson sent in this photo. That dog looks like that dog commands the remote control, right? Like
that's like Airbud,
hey,
right?
I got
there.
the remote. I got the switcher. What do you want to watch? And here's Marcy. I love that little. That's a knit. You must have knitted that, I bet, right? That is so cute. And finally, for today, Marie Fatigue. Marie Fatigue. I don't know what the dog's name. It looks like it's smiling. Very cute. Cute. Mark
John,
Phillips. I'll look for your pictures. We've got a Got a bunch of them.
John Murray, $4.99. I was trying to say earlier that Republicans say if we tax corporations or the wealthy like we did in the 50s and up to the 80s, they'll leave the country. That's... Calf Castills, $5 is asking, why isn't Biden undoing Trump's stupid trade war, huge tariffs on China? It's still killing a lot of businesses.
That's a great question. I mean, that was one of the things that President Biden, ran on. I think China is such a thorny issue right now. Like, people are wondering, like, why is he being more tough on China? And like, by all accounts, they are being tough on China. I mean, heck, even on the military side, now we're ramping up military pressure on China. We need to spend more money against China. Part of the problem, though, is that Americans don't want to have to. Right now, we're seeing inflation starting to tick up. We're starting to see the price of goods going up. And I have to say, the part of the problem in the United States is that we want cheap crap. And if we actually wanted to start paying for the price, like the reason American manufacturers can't compete with China is because labor is so cheap. We want cheap things. So it gets manufactured in China.
Well,
like
then we want cheap things because it's all a lot of people can afford.
Right. But we've been conditioned to think that a TV, should only cost this amount of money now. Or like remember Dell computers. We should be able to get these things that's, really cheap Dell computers to get terrible customer service, and they break after 6 months. And then Dell had to spend years working on their public image again and really ramping up to make better computers after the years of making crappy computers. Cheap crap that broke all the time.
Jason Eunice, $5, respectfully asking where and how I can submit my business. I'm a tinsmith with a shop on Etsy. Thanks to Clayton and David for keeping it real.
Where and how can I submit my business? Jason, what do you mean, Jason? I'm a tinsmith with a shop on Etsy. Thanks to Clayton and David for keeping it real.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, Jason, well, hey, drop it in the chat here. Let us know what your business is. We'll show it here on the show.
Icarus 13, $5. IRS is like Congress on vacation 80% of the year, and when they are working, they don't do snit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, imagine not having a filibuster, which would force them to actually show up and actually work for a living.
Kenta Wilson, $5. Stimulus is a win for the underdog. William Ryder, $20. Mitch has really been a sore in the people's side through this whole time. For him to stand up there and basically threaten the Senate and therefore the American people is not okay. He should be removed from office. But he got voted back in.
Yeah, he won in Kentucky. Come on, people of Kentucky, get rid of this guy.
Chit Chat 64, $5. Plaid does not recognize Chimes Bank.
Yeah, reach out to the customer service. There's got to be a way around that.
Yeah. Kathy LaCroix, $5. Would love for you to show my picture of my puppy Kaylee.
Okay, I'm going to go through and make sure we got...
Rocky.
This is March 15th.
Rocker S, $5. Thank you. William Ryder, $5. Love the show. Been watching for a month. I'm now an active voter who writes both state legislators and Congress members often. And
awesome.
Ramona Johnson,
That's
$5.
awesome.
Hi, Clayton and David. I sent an email to Clayton at Morning Invest regarding stimulus monies being taken by banks and creditors. Please check.
Will do. Will do. Of course, that's what we focused on today's show all about. So hopefully, if you're just tuning in late, that's what we featured on today's show.
And then Jason Eunice, $5. Handcrafted tin work, metal myth shop on Etsy. Thanks. And that is the last super chat.
Metals. Trying
Metals
to see how I can
Myth
say
Shop.
that. Metals Myth Shop. Metals Myth Shop on Etsy.
Or Metalsmith
Myth Shop.
But Smith with a Y.
Metalsmith. Metalsmith. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Metalsmith Shop. Etsy. Let's see if I can find that. Do they have like direct? So you got to go to Etsy first and find it like that, right?
Yeah, I'm not really I don't use a lot of Etsy. Like every once in a while I'll buy a gift on there, but I don't like the whole website experience.
I bought, see, I'm trying to, yeah, I'm on here and I can't find it. Metal Smith Shop. Metals Smith Shop. Is SMY? Is it, sorry, can you spell
that's
for
what
me?
it is.
I'm
Metal SMYTH.
THSMYTH. Yeah, just can't find it. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Brizzy 864,
Smith
you guys
Shop.
are the best on YouTube. Do you think we will get the monthly payments? Probably not. I mean, look at how little they've helped us over all this time. They've had over a year to help us, and they could have done it in this last thing, and we saw how they didn't even use Republicans to get this done, and they didn't do anything substantial, in my opinion. So, I mean, they don't want us to get it.
Yeah, I would love to see them pass this, but I mean, something's got to happen to Joe Manchin. He's got to have a religious experience or something, you know, and Kristen Sinema to find it.
Johnny
Jason,
Hustle,
I'm sorry, I'm
$5.
trying to find it here on it.
Why
If
does
anyone
Congress...
can find it, it's Metal Smith Shop. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Johnny Hustle, $5. Why does Congress think that $900, $1,000, $1,100 per month is enough to live on for those of us on Social Security fixed incomes? By the way, love the show.
I don't know.
Rowena
Johnny,
Reynolds,
I agree with you.
$10. Stephanie Maxwell, new member. Benjamin just tried to sub to the newsletter and got error. Benjamin, try again.
Oh, no. I hope not. Morninginvest.com is the website. Morninginvest.com. Make sure you're typing in a proper email address. Just double check, maybe make sure that there's no error. Oh no, I got an error as well. Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, what?
On the site
That's
itself
no
or trying
good.
to opt in?
Hold on a second. I'm going to tell my team.
He's just to translate. He's saying, "Hey team, there is an issue with the newsletter site not helping with producing an error. Could you please take care of that ASAP?"
Yes, that's what I did. Not good. So just give it a few minutes and hopefully our team will fix that.
Jeffrey Platt,
hopefully it'll be
$4.99.
relatively-
Hey Clayton, I emailed you a 3.5 trillion stimulus package I created, and I would like for you to feature it on the show.
Okay. Try to look for it.
All right, that's it.
Awesome, everyone. Thank you for a great show today. Great seeing all of you. Thank you, everyone, for all of your great questions and feedback. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, being a great part of our community here. Really appreciate that. And anyone who became a channel member today, really, really appreciate that. Again, give it a few minutes. Hopefully we'll get this error fixed on the website. Go there to subscribe. Morninginvest.com is how you can subscribe to the newsletter. If you get an error, we're fixing it. Promise you. Hopefully it's not an error because you've already signed up. Because I put in an email address that I don't use all that often, but I was testing it and I got an error as well. So I'm hoping that, is anyone, maybe, hey, all of you guys, you want to test it right now for me? Anyone who's not a subscriber of our newsletter who's watching right now, go over to morninginvest.com right now and test it.
Sorry,
Let's see
team.
if you can put in your email address. Sorry, team. But if you haven't subscribed, like if you're never subscribed to the newsletter before, try it. If you get an error, let me know.
And if not, here's the email, personal email of the team member that you're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Metal Smith Shop. Okay, hold on a second. I want to see if I can help him here. It's like metal with an E at the end. Smythe Shop. Okay, like there. Okay, here we go. Wait. Still no luck. Oh yeah, I found it. I found it. Believe I found it. Okay. Ooh, these are really pretty, man. Jason. You guys check this out. If you guys want to go to Etsy, hey, Mother's Day is coming up. This would be some good stuff for Mother's Day, and you'd also be supporting one of our viewers. Look at that. So this is Jason. He has his Etsy shop set up. It's Metal Smythe. Is smithing like a type of metalwork? Am I like Smythe or Smith? I don't know.
I guess it must be.
But look at this. Those are pretty neat, man. Nice, like a little candle. Is that a candlestick holder? Cool work. I love people that can do this kind of stuff. Cool. So there you go, Jason. Get, nice picture frames as well, photo frames, handmade. Cool. Thank you, Jason, for sharing. I'm glad I was able to find it. So there it is. Check them out on Etsy. If you want a gift idea, you'll be supporting one of our viewers, Jason. Jason is right here. There you go. In Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone, for watching today. Much love to all of you, and we will see you back here a little bit later. Much love to you. See you. Bye. Bye, everyone.